Hey y'all, I am cracking eggs to make my cornbread for my dressing that I'm going to be making in a couple of days for a holiday. Happens to be Thanksgiving here in the United States. And I wanted to hop on here, and when you make your cornbread, a tip, let your eggs be room temperature, okay? I wanted to hop on here and just visit with y'all for a minute. John has gone a-hunting, so that leaves me in the kitchen by myself, and I'm crunched for time. Y'all know normally I've got this made, and it's in the freezer dressing and all, right? But when I make my cornbread, this is my little thing for today. I'm going to start with my recipe. This is a quadruple batch, okay? It'll make 4 small pans of cornbread or 2 large cast iron skillets of cornbread. So we're going to start with 4 cups of cornmeal. Let me inch up here and grab my little measuring cup out of my flour. But yeah, y'all know some years it just gets ahead of you. You're busy doing other stuff. And that was 1, y'all help me count. So yeah, now we're crunched for time. So I was like, well, let me at least make my cornbread today. And what I wanted to tell you is I add no oil or butter or shortening or bacon grease, because when we make dressing, we're gonna add butter, and then we're gonna add some soup. And also, we want our cornbread to already be dried out so it can absorb the chicken broth we're putting in it and the butter and everything, so it's perfect. You don't have to add any oils to it, or butters, or fats, I guess I should say, for your dressing. Okay, now we need a double recipe of my flour, all-purpose flour. I've got a big old container here in front of y'all. I'm not going to pick it up because it's huge. And I'll just do that. That's 1. And 2. Right like this. There we have it. And to that, we need to add some salt. And this seems like a lot of salt, but like I say, this is about 4 pans of cornbread. I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 3. And we do need baking powder for a rising agent. And I'm going to put 4 tablespoons. I know. This is a big old thing of cornbread, isn't it? I like to make plenty. So then if anybody wants to take a plate home for later, a to-go plate, absolutely help yourself. So that's why I make plenty. And I get that from my grandmother. She would always make too much instead of not enough, and I guess I just get that from her. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and that lets you know we're going to be putting some buttermilk in here, right? Yeah, baking soda and buttermilk go together. And you'll see all the old timers, they'll put that baking soda in their hand because it's clumpy, and you don't want clumps in your cornbread. I'm going to grab a whisk, and they'll just rub them out like that, okay? So I'm a copying that. All right. Let's see. We're going to need some buttermilk. We're going to need 4 cups of buttermilk. That's a lot, isn't it? I know. I think I know I got this big old measuring cup out, right? I love buttermilk in cornbread, do y'all? Some of you can't find it, and you can add some lemon juice or vinegar to whole milk, and it will curdle and butter for you, and that's your acid to go with your baking soda, so you could do that too. And 2 cups of regular old sweet milk. That's what we in the country say, sweet milk, and the old timers. And then to this, I'm going to add 4 eggs. And normally I would be adding an oil or a butter or bacon grease. And what I do with that whisk? Right in front of my face. And putting that in the pan and letting it melt and everything. But like I say, I want this cornbread to be dry. And y'all, when John gets off that deer stand, he's going to come in here and swipe some of this cornbread. So I always have to make extra and more. And I love it, though. I really love feeding people. You know, it's like I'm feeding their soul or something. I don't know. I just really love it. If you love it, don't you? Trying to get these eggs to burst, and they just won't do it. they're fresh and they're like, we're good, we're gonna stay together. All right, eggs, come on. There y'all go. Now into this it goes. I was wondering if my bowl, my big old mixing bowl, was going to be big enough, right? Are y'all ready for the holidays? Me either. I never am. Ever, ever, ever. Sometimes not even more than other years too. That is nice and mixed up. My oven is on 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I kind of cool it down a little bit for my regular cornbread recipe because it's so much in here and I don't want to just burn the outside. Y'all know what I mean? Okay, so to this, now I don't want my cornbread to be sticking to my pan. This is a big old lasagna pan. If you don't have a big pan, you could split it between a couple of pans, okay? Now I'm down to, get me a little bit of butter on here. And I don't have a blade over here. I mean, I'm just real cooking. This is real cooking with Amy. This is not Amy with it all together coming on here with y'all. I'm not even dressed. I just put my hair up and I got on clean clothes because you know when you're cooking for people you want to be clean and have your hair put up and stuff like that when you're cooking for big crowds. So it's just me, just plain on me on here with y'all. Alright y'all, just like that, that's nice and buttered, just so it won't stick to the pan, and you could use a cooking spray, you know, for non-stick, but I don't here lately. The more and more you know, my mother had Alzheimer's dementia and she passed away this year, and the more you read about it and research about it, it just all sorts seems to point back to processed things, and so I'm like, well, was that around when I was little, you know? And no, it wasn't, so we're gonna quit using it. That's gonna be a lot of cornbread in it. See if I can reach back here without spilling this. There's a little bit didn't get mixed up. I'm gonna mix it up right now. This is a no stress thing, right? All of that cornbread. I know a lot of y'all appreciate a spatula being used, and so I know it takes more time, but we want to get all that goodie out, don't we? We do. We don't want to waste. Now, okay, guys, I know I have made cornbread dressing with y'all millions of times, but this is actually why I came on right now today. I am just making this cornbread for the dressing, making it a couple of days in advance so it will be nice and dry, so it will absorb the chicken broth and the butter and all the goodness that I'm putting in here, all the moisture in my dressing. So I don't add oil to this recipe for my cornbread. No butter, no bacon grease, no shortening, no anything. So it'll be nice and dry. And this is what I was going to show y'all. I'm adding seasoning blend, a nice little shortcut. It's got bell pepper, onion, celery, and it even has the little red bell peppers, which are nice and beautiful in your dressing for the holidays. It looks festive. And we didn't have to chop a thing. And we are saving time, and time is money, isn't it? Because we're going to put this right in, yes, right in our cornbread. What? I know. Isn't it fun? But seriously, that's saving a pot on the stove, saving up from sauteing it in butter. I can just put a stick of melted butter in my dressing when I'm moving along, and this is going to soften all our veggies for our dressing in one step. This is going in the oven until it gets done. I don't know how long that'll be, but until the center is done. So I'll see y'all next time, because I've made dressing with y'all millions of times. So I'll just link one of those dressing recipes in the description just so y'all can watch it if you happen to have missed it. So I'll see y'all soon. Y'all, about 45 minutes later, it is done. How I know it's done, is if I push in the middle and it springs back a bit, then I know this very center is done. And I can see all the vegetables in there. I just wanted to share this little tip with y'all. My first mother-in-law shared that with me many years ago. And we are here on this earth just to lift others up. That's what we're here. That is our purpose. People say, do you know what your purpose is in life? It's to lift others up and to spread the joy. And there you have it. Blanket everything in love and everything in your life will fall into place. I hope your holidays are running smoothly so far, and I will see you soon.